Better believe it.
All right. If you guys had to fight, the Xenomorph from Alien or the Thing from The Thing, which would you choose?
Xenomorph. I'd rather it just come in, take me out, slice me up, eat me, whatever it's got to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the whole, like,
right.
Get
absorbed
thing where then I have to belly birth some monster. I want the Xenomorph to just, like, come, take the tail, cut me down.
But they're not going to do that unless they have to.
Yeah.
They want you for the... Right, maybe. Could you?
Yeah.
What do we have?
Get a forklift or something, scare it off.
That's right. Get away from her,
you make yourself really big and yell, right?
It's saying that, okay, you are placed in the movie. You're either placed in the movie The Thing. Spoiler alert, you're not Kurt Russell.
Even more so, Alien.
Yeah, dude, that's for me. I'm the same. Like, The Thing is, like, I want nothing to do with that movie. I don't want to be anywhere near that. I don't want to be absorbed by a fucking being. I want to know who I am, even if I'm, like, in agony at death. Bring on the fucking tongue to the head, bite my brain out. Like, I'll take that any day of the week as opposed to, like, the fucking slimy thing just, like, like, eating me alive, taking away my humanity.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it possible that it could be aliens? Could I be in the movie Aliens?
You want to go out like the guy and like blow up?
I want to ask you a question.
I want a fighting chance.
Can I be Kurt Russell?
There you go. See?
Brian.
I mean, Kurt Russell's story didn't end beautifully either.
Brian, there is.
I want to be Kurt Russell against the aliens.
There is. There's a question right there. Does Kurt Russell do better in Alien?
No.
And does Sigourney Weaver do better in The Thing?
Yes.
Or do they? Yes.
Yes. I think Sigourney Weaver is more resourceful.
But we do kind of see that sort of scenario play out in 2011 / pre-make of The Thing, where you get Elizabeth Weinstein, as a Ripley style character who is very, very smart.
So are you saying because she's a woman, she's the same as Ripley?
I'm saying.
Are you saying all women are alike?
I'm saying that archetype is kind of led by Sigourney.
So then, who is the Kurt Russell archetype in the Alien and Aliens movies?
Probably Michael Biehn.
Okay. Oh yeah. Fair enough.
R.I.P.
Who does actually die in Alien 3, and I would argue that Kurt Russell dies.
Yeah.
At the end of The Thing.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other podcast. We are talking about Jesus. I forgot we were even rolling. I legit forgot that we were even rolling there for a hot minute.
Let's just say that's a
Welcome back to the Jony Horror Podcast. I'm your host, Jony Horror. With me tonight are
Brian Gilbert,
Kalen Behrman.
I don't even know if that was your name.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Brian
go first.
Brian Gimlet.
Brian Gimlet
over here.
Goddamn. Tonight, believe it or not, we are not talking about Alien or The Thing. We are talking about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. We are going to be discussing the behind the scenes, the production of the film, the writing of the film, the reception of the film. If you have not listened to our first episode in which we discuss our likes and our dislikes and our random thoughts about the film, go back and listen to that. What are you doing? Pull your head out of your ass and start at the beginning, because we are not Quentin Tarantino and we do not like you to start at the end. That's preposterous. So, any questions, comments, concerns before we dive on in to the making of this film? No? Yeah? We're all good?
No.
All right. So we're going to do little musical chairs with the computer. I'm going to read a little bit and we'll discuss, and then I'll pass the computer along and one of these assholes will read a little bit more. I must say that right out the gate, we are pulling all of this from Wikipedia, so we got to give a big thanks to anyone who's ever contributed to the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch Wikipedia page, because we do not get paid to be here, and ain't nobody got time to research this shit. So, without any further fucking ado, here we go. Production. When approached about creating a third Halloween film, original Halloween writers John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were reluctant to pledge commitment. Carpenter and Hill agreed to participate in the new project only if it was not a direct sequel to Halloween 2, which meant Michael Myers would not be the focus of the film. Excuse me. Erwin Yablans and Mustafa Akkad, who produced the first two films, gave Halloween 3 a budget of $2.5 million.
So not a terrible budget.
No. Particularly in the 80s, that's right. Solid. Even by today's standards, that's solid. You can do a lot with that. Special effects artist Don Post of Post Studios designed the latex masks in the film, which included a glow-in-the-dark skull, a lime green witch, and an orange day-glow jack-o'-lantern. Hill told somebody's name I can't pronounce, we didn't exactly have a whole lot of money for things like props, so we asked Post, who provided the shape mask for earlier Halloween, if we could work out a deal. The skull and witch masks were adaptations of standard Post studio masks, but the jack-o'-lantern was created specifically for Halloween 3. That's pretty fucking cool. Post linked the masks of the film to the popularity of the masks in the real world. This is what they had to say about that. Every society and every time has had its mask that suited the mood of the society. From the masked ball to clowns to makeup, people want to act out a feeling inside themselves. Angry, sad, happy, old. It may be a sad commentary on present-day America that horror masks are the best sellers. It's not that sad a commentary on America, I can tell you that much.
No, I think that's fucking awesome.
Most of the filming took place on location in a small coastal town of Loleta? Sure. California.
No, it's Lolita.
Lolita. God, I live in California, folks. Fuck me. I know that town. I've been there.
Oh, man.
I got a high school diploma, ladies and gentlemen. That's about as far as I go. Familiar Foods, a milk bottling plant in Lolita, served as Silver Shamrock Novelties Factory. But all special effects involving fire, smoke, and explosions were filmed at Post Studios. That's fun. Fun fact. Oh, boys. Any comments about the production of the film? I guess we should say that after the general idea behind this film was that Halloween and Halloween 2, let me back up even more. Halloween was a one-off thing that started as the Babysitter Murders and then was kind of... They used the holiday of Halloween to kind of give that as a... Like a boost, like a incentive, basically, for people to go see the movie because it was attached to a holiday. Now, this film ended up being very, very successful, obviously. So they did a sequel. That was not the original intent of the filmmakers to have a sequel to this film. If you watch the ending of Halloween, it is meant to be very ambiguous. Michael Myers is still out there. We never know when he's going to strike again. That is what the final shots of the film are meant to show us, that evil is everywhere and it can strike at any moment. But again, the film was so successful that the producers insisted upon a sequel, and John Carpenter famously wanted really nothing to do with it, but they gave him a paycheck, and he used that paycheck to buy 6-pack of beer every night to bang out the script for Halloween 2. At the end of Halloween 2, Michael Myers is fucking dead. He blows up in a hospital with Dr. Loomis. That is the end of Michael Myers. So, after the success of Halloween 2, they wanted more Halloween films. So, Deborah Hill and John Carpenter said, well, we will do it, but we want it to be an anthology style. So, every Halloween, you have a Halloween-themed movie that is centered around the holiday, but is a different story, and you just use the Halloween title. Now, people have argued that if you had just titled this movie Season of the Witch, it would have been infinitely more successful. I would say yes, but I would go just a step backwards. If you just titled this film Halloween Season of the Witch and not Halloween 3, you've really done yourself a favor by making it not sound like this is a direct sequel to the Michael Myers franchise. But as we all know, and as we'll get into, not having Michael Myers in the film was, at the time, not what the fans wanted. But moving on into the writing, which one of you would like to take this? Are you
the writing?
Go for it, my man.
So producers recruited British science fiction writer Nigel Neal to write the original screenplay, mostly because because Carpenter admired his Quatermass series. Don't know what Quatermass is. Neal said his script did not include horror for horror's sake. He adds, and I quote, "The main story had to do with deception, psychological shocks rather than physical ones." End quote. Neal asserts that movie mogul Dino De Laurentiis, owner of the film's distribution rights, did not care for it and ordered more graphic violence and gore. While much of the plot remained the same, the alterations displeased Neal, and he requested that his name be removed from the credits. What a drama queen. Director Tommy Lee Wallace was then assigned to revise the script. He explained in the interview the direction that Carpenter and Hill wanted to take the Halloween series, stating, that was weirdly written, "It is our intention to create an anthology out of the series, sort of along the lines of Night Gallery or The Twilight Zone, only on a much larger scale, of course. Each year, a new film would be released that focused on some aspect of the Halloween season." Hill told Fangoria that the film was supposed to be a pod movie, not a knife movie. As such, Wallace drew inspiration from another pod film, Don Siegel's Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956. The fictional town of Santa Mira was originally the setting of Invasion of the Body Snatchers and named as such in Halloween 3 as homage to Siegel's film. Aspects of the plot proved very similar as well, such as the snatching bodies and replacing them with androids. Halloween 3's subtitle comes from George A. Romero's second film, Season of the Witch, in 1973, also known as Hungry Wives, but the plot contains no similarity to Romero's story of a housewife who becomes involved in witchcraft. Wow, that sounds cool.
I didn't know the bit about... Oh no! We've lost a can. I did know the bit about Romero. I think I was pretty familiar with the rest of that. Obviously, you can see throughout the film... Have you seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You haven't. This is so much fun. Having a good time. Brian's just gonna slowly start inching out of back a little bit further. Obviously, you can see all of the references to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, particularly when we get to the end and we realize, like, just when Chalice and Ellie are driving away from the factory, you're looking at Ellie, you're like, and it's slowly starting to dawn, and you're like, this woman is still not talking.
Mm-hmm.
Why? She wouldn't shut up before, and she is still not talking.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong? And you do have that moment, and I mean, I've only seen the it's the 1976 version with Donald Sutherland. I believe it's 1976. That's the only version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers that I've seen. But God, what a great movie! And that ending where Donald Sutherland has been taken over and he points at the camera is fucking horrifying. And you do have that same feeling because it's that gut-wrenching bit of fuck, no, not them. Yeah. Why did they get taken over? So I like that. I like that a lot. And I mean that is very apparent throughout the film, and I think it's great because it's a great homage, but it really is on the side. It is not. We're not directly ripping off because it is a side story as opposed to the main story, which I would argue is leans more into the witchcraft element of it all. But let's go ahead and talk about casting for a minute. Brian, why don't you take the lead on that?
Big one, huh?
Let's go, B-Rat.
Yeah, somebody did some scrolling ahead, didn't we? Yeah. All right. The cast of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch consisted mostly of character actors whose previous acting credits included cameo appearances on various television series. The exceptions were Tom Atkins and veteran actor Dan O'Hurley. Hurley?
O'Hurley.
Sure.
O'Hurley.
Cast as...
Hurley.
No, you're good. Cast as Surgeon Daniel Dan Chalice. Who's a surgeon?
Fuck! God
he's
damn
never
it.
called a surgeon in the movie.
You should not be doing surgeries.
Atkins had appeared in several John Carpenter films.
Always has. That's
prior to Halloween 3.
That's why he's always brown bagging so his hands are steady.
Played Nick Castle in The Fog. Oh, the 1981. That's what you were talking about, The Fog, right?
Uh-huh.
And
what do you think I was talking about?
You said he was in The Fog, so I don't know. Maybe he's just like...
The one with Tom Welling from fucking Smallville? Get the fuck out of here. Don't talk to me again.
Oh my god. An Escape from New York. Atkins guest starred in television series such as Harry O, The Rockford Files, and Lou Grant. Atkins told Fangoria that he liked being the hero. As a veteran horror actor, he added, "I wouldn't mind making a whole career out of being in just horror movies." After Halloween 3, Atkins continued to play supporting roles in dozens of films and television series. Ouch.
Why is that funny?
I don't know, because he was just like, I love being the fucking hero, and then after this, they're just like, alright, yeah.
I'm thinking about this right now that we're talking about Tom Atkins' career. Never mind, it's not important.
Oh no, please go ahead, I only have 4 more paragraphs. Take your time.
No, it's good. Please, continue.
Wonderful. Stacey Nelkin co-starred as Ellie Grimbridge, a young woman whose father is murdered by Silver Shamrock. She landed the role after a makeup artist working on the film told her about the auditions. In an interview, Nelkin commented on her character. Ellie was very spunky and strong-minded, Although I like to think of myself as having these traits, she was written that way in the script. Nelkin considered it an honor to be playing Jamie Lee Curtis's successor.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis's successor. That's fun.
Yeah, okay.
Hardly. But
Yeah, I was like... According to Roger Ebert, Nelkin's performance was the one...
You say that like you've never heard of Roger Ebert.
Never heard of Roger.
I just want to make sure I pronounce it. Like, well, you come up to a last name like that, you're like, wait, hold on, you gotta take a beat.
Ebert.
Fuck you guys.
Who's Roger?
Yeah, right? I don't know. Fuck you. Nelkin's performance was the one saving grace in the film. Ebert explained he was... She has one of those rich voices that makes you wish she had more to say and in a better role. Too bad she plays her last scene without a head.
Roger Ebert was horny.
Roger Ebert is a piece of trash. He can go fuck himself. Oh, he's dead too, isn't he?
Yes. Long.
Prior to her role as Grimbridge, Nelkin was one of the main characters in the 1980 Mad Magazine movie Up the Academy, which also starred Ralph Macchio. After Halloween 3, Nelkin continued working as a character actress on television. I have one more paragraph. I'm going to kill you. How do you say that guy's last name? Hurley?
That looks like Hurley to me.
It's got another H in it. What are you supposed to do with that last H?
Hurley.
Hurley or Hurley?
Oh, Hurley.
Oh, Hurley.
It's O'Hurley. Yeah, it's a very Celtic name.
Ebert.
Roger Ebert.
That one didn't have an H. Veteran Irish actor Dan O'Herlihy was cast as Conwell Cochran, the owner of Silver Shamrock, and the witch from the film's title, a 3,000-year-old demon in Neil's original script. That's cool.
That checks out.
Right? Yeah, witches are usually pretty old, right? Been around the block a couple times, killing kids left and right. Whenever the planets align and spelling heads.
Right.
Fucking says at school.
That's right. When Stoner just says in school, we kill kids.
Just fucking spews out the film's entire plot.
I don't know, man.
Well, you see when a doctor...
Making robots from Germany back in 1917 or whatever the fuck, 1700s and shit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was a creepy thing.
When a doctor and the daughter of a murder victim love each other very much.
That's when a baby is made.
When the fucking stars align. Oh my god. O'Hurley had played close to 150 roles before co-starring as the Irish Trickster and was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in The Adventures of Robinson Crusoe.
That's awesome.
54. He appeared in another 20 films and television series before his death in 2005. R.I.P.
Holy shit.
Yeah. O'Hurley admitted
he was old in the 80s and he went to... Fuck me.
150 roles before co-starring as the Irish Trickster. So that's a lot.
Yeah, he was pushing 200 roles in his life. That's really impressive.
Well, for a 3,000-year-old, not really. But... O'Hurley admitted in an interview with Starlog magazine that he was not particularly impressed with the finished film. When asked what he thought of working in the horror film, O'Hurley responded, "Whenever I use a Cork accent, I'm having a good time, and I used a Cork accent in Halloween 3. I thoroughly enjoyed the role, but I didn't think it was much of a picture, no. 2 members of the supporting cast were not strangers to the Halloween series. Nancy Kyes played Chalice's ex-wife Linda. She had appeared in the first 2 Halloween films as Laurie Strode's promiscuous friend Annie Brackett. Stunt performer Dick Warlock makes it.
Why they gotta call her promiscuous?
She's hardly promiscuous.
Right.
She has a boyfriend.
Right. Like, what the fuck?
What?
Who wrote that?
Okay. Yeah.
That fool's never got his dick wet before.
Oh my.
Yeah, this whore, Annie Brackett.
That whore? How dare she be getting laid? What a piece of shit.
Damn.
You know what kind of women I hate? The kind who fuck men.
In committed relationship? Slut?
Oh God. Folks, we say this in jest. We are all in committed relationships, and we all love our women.
And we love women generally.
We are making fun of people who are assholes to women.
Yeah.
We love women. Oh, please continue.
Stunt performer Dick Warlock, that's a name and a half, makes a cameo appearance as an android assassin. Oh.
So, quick little tidbit about Dick Warlock. Played
what a great name.
Michael Myers. Right. Fucking fantastic.
Fucking boss,
you know his name was Richard.
Yep. But he
and
like, no.
people called him Rich, and then when he was like old enough, he's like, nah.
Yep.
I'm the Dick Warlock. Fun fact about a couple of fun facts about Dick Warlock that anyone who's a horror fan who's listening already knows. He plays the Shape, aka Michael Myers, in Halloween 2, and doubles for Richard Dreyfuss during the infamous cage sequence.
Oh snap!
In Jaws.
Okay,
so
that's right.
So appropriate name.
Man's got a big dick.
Wow. Warlock had earlier co-starred as Michael Myers in Halloween 2. Jamie Lee Curtis also provided uncredited voice work as the Santa Mira curfew announcer and the telephone operator.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Tommy Lee Wallace also provided uncredited voice work as the Silver Shamrock commercial announcer.
So, Tommy Lee Wallace is, I think at the time, was part of John Carpenter's band, who, they do have a song in Halloween, like their actual band. Cool. There's a song that's featured in there. Tommy Lee Wallace also plays the radio DJ in Halloween. So if you're listening to the radio in 1978's Halloween, it's Tommy Lee Wallace.
Did he get credited for any of those ones?
And he is the one that went to the fucking store, bought the fucking mask of William Shatner and fixed it up. Wow. So you can thank all your fucking nightmares of Michael Myers to Tommy Lee Wallace because that man is the shit.
That's cool. I feel like we have a good thing going here. I'm just gonna read the directing section too.
Do it.
Idiots are doing your own thing. Directing. Joe Dante was originally hired to direct, but quit in order to direct a segment of The Twilight Zone, the movie, just weeks before principal photography was scheduled to start on April 19th, 1982.
Cool.
Yeah, neat. The film was the directorial debut of Tommy Lee Wallace, although he was not a newcomer to the Halloween series. Wallace had served as art director and production designer for John Carpenter's original Halloween. And he had previously declined to direct Halloween 2 in 1981. After Halloween 3, Wallace directed other horror films such as Fright Night Part 2,
which is low-key amazing.
Vampires Los Muertos.
Haven't seen that one.
Wow.
I don't think the first Vampires is
and the mini-series It from 1990.
Wait. Are we talking about John Carpenter's Vampires? Yes, and there was a sequel called Los Muertos? Okay, yeah. I liked it in 2002. When it came out, I couldn't speak to how I feel about it today.
He also directed the television adaptation of the Stephen King novel.
Was it 1998 that Vampires came out? Los Muertos was the... I liked it as a kid when I watched it.
I think 1998 sounds about right. Okay. Because it's got James...
James Woods is the star.
Yeah. And I've seen bits of it, and like it's got the right type of camp, but I've never watched it all the way through. Okay. So I think from...
Yeah, the first that's a sequel. One. The first one had James Woods and one of the bald ones in it.
Yeah.
And as a 10-year-old boy or something, I liked it a lot.
I think from what I've heard, it's like the last of Carpenter's films that he directed that people are like, yeah.
Some of us like that one.
But I think anything after that, it kind of goes off the deep end. But I digress.
Sorry.
You're good. You do you. Despite disagreements between Wallace and original scriptwriter Nigel Neal, the actors reported that Wallace was a congenial director to work with.
Yeah, congenial.
Nailed it. Stacey Nelkin told one interviewer the shoot the shoot as a whole was fun, smooth, and a great group of people to work with. Tommy Lee Wallace was incredibly helpful and open to discussion on dialogue or character issues. Although the third film departed from the plot of the first two films, Wallace attempted to connect all three films together through certain stylistic themes. The film's opening title features a digitally animated jack-o'-lantern, an obvious reference to the jack-o'-lanterns that appeared in the opening titles of Halloween and Halloween 2. Wallace's jack-o'-lantern is also the catalyst in the Silver Shamrock commercials that activates the masks. Another stylistic reference to the original film is found in the scene where Dr. Chalice tosses a mask over a security camera, making the image on the monitor seem to be peering through the eye holes. That's cool. This is a nod to the scene in which a young Michael Myers murders his sister while wearing a clown mask. Finally, the film contains a brief reference to its predecessors by including a few short scenes from Halloween and a television commercial that advertises the airing of the film for that upcoming holiday as a minor story within a story. Wallace's use of gore served a different purpose than in Halloween 2. According to Tom Atkins, the effects in this film aren't bloody, they're more bizarre than gross. Special effects and makeup artist Tom Berman concurred, stating in an interview, "This movie was really not out to disgust people. It's a fun..." I don't know about that, after seeing the misfire scene.
Yeah. I agree with what you say. Yes.
Okay. It's a fun movie with lots of thrills in it.
You're welcome.
Random, gracious gore. Many of the special effects were meant to emphasize the theme of the practical joke that peppers the plot. New York Times film critic Vincent Canby notes, the movie features a lot of carefully executed, comically horrible special effects. Canby stood as one of the few critics of the time to praise Wallace's directing. Mr. Wallace clearly has a fondness for the cliches he is parodying and does it with style.
God bless America.
You're on the music.
Any comments about the directing in this film? Do we feel like it succeeds?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, honestly, like, again, we've already talked about visually, this film is like iconic from a God, what is the word? Just like from a production value standpoint, also iconic.
Oh yeah.
And the sequences in this film are also very, very memorable. And I just feel like you can't have those three things without a director on top of that being like, this is what I want, this is what it should be. Aesthetically, this film is very, very pleasing to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't understand how you can have a Halloween movie that not only takes place in California in the middle of just nowhere in like a very industrial looking town.
Right.
In California on a Sunday. And just be like, yeah, this movie feels like a Halloween movie. And somehow they managed to do that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the direction really is the starting point for all of that. So Tommy Lee Wallace fucking killed it. All right. Music. Let's see here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. There's a... Whoa. Okay, so it's just mostly the track listing. Okay. Calm down. The soundtrack was composed by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth, there we go, who worked together on Halloween 2 and several other films. Shut the fuck up, I'm talking right now. Music remained an important element in establishing the atmosphere of Halloween 3. Like I said, like 16 times already. Thank you very much. Just as in Halloween and Halloween 2, there was no symphonic score. Much of the music was composed to solicitate false startles from the audience. That's the stings where it's like, pew! Shit like that. Like, calm down, guys. We get it. This is a person walking in front of the camera. The score of Halloween 3 differed greatly from the familiar main theme of the original and the sequel. Carpenter replaced the familiar 10 to 8 piano melody with an electric theme, 9 to 16 against a steady 4 to 4, played on a synthesizer with beeping tonalities. Howarth explains how he and Carpenter composed the music for the third film. The music style of John Carpenter and myself was further evolved in this film soundtrack by working exclusively with synthesizers to produce our music. Got something you want to say?
No, please continue.
My mouth's a little bit dry. I should have a little bit of water.
That must be it.
It's that dry mouth.
Happens to all robots.
This has led to a certain procedural routine. The film is first transferred to a time-coded videotape and synchronized to a 24-track master audio recorder. Then, while watching the film, we compose the music to these visual images. The entire process goes quite rapidly and has instant gratification, allowing us to evaluate the score in sync to the picture. This is quite an invaluable asset. One of the more memorable aspects of the film's soundtrack was the jingle from the Silver Shamrock mask commercial. Set to the tune of London Bridges Falling Down, the commercial in the film counts down the number of days until Halloween, beginning with day 8, followed by an announcer's voice, Tommy Lee Wallace, encouraging the children to purchase Silver Shamrock masks to wear on Halloween night. 8 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Alright. 2 things. How do we feel about the film's overall score? Just the vibe, the tone. How do we feel that it compares to what is arguably, with the exception of Star Wars and Jaws, probably the most iconic film score in the history of humanity?
I think you're gonna have to throw John Williams a bone there and throw Jurassic Park in there. We got so far down the John Williams.
To me, Jurassic Park is my favorite score of all time. I really do. But as far as you show a picture to someone who doesn't speak English, who's probably only never even seen a movie, they could probably go dun dun dun
absolutely.
Dun, or they go dun 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 dun. You can go dun 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 dun. You can show just pictures to people.
Sure.
Jurassic Park is number 4 in that list.
Okay.
It's right there.
I go around in public doing the theme to Jurassic Park pretty often.
Fucking
I do it.
Peter and Family.
No, exactly. I'm almost certain that's where I got that from, but I do that, and people definitely know what I'm talking about.
Again, to me, that is my personal favorite score of all time. But again, different podcast. How do we feel that this score lines up against that?
I think John Carpenter's score for Halloween is fucking perfect and one of the best things ever. So I wouldn't expect anything to be a complete 1-for-1 match to that from my own perception or enjoyment. But yeah, I think this one slaps.
Yeah, I like that. In the OG, obviously they bring in the same tune, I don't know what you would fucking call it, when Michaels makes his appearance and stuff, and it's terrifying every time you hear it because you know what's fucking coming.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, they don't really have that same thing going for them, but it's still so eerie the whole time. It feels like. So like, no matter what, even when it's like pretty chill, or he's trying to put weird mustachy suave moves wherever, it still kind of has that overarching tone. Like, all right, where the dudes in the gray suits still kind of vibe to it, like kind of always on edge throughout the whole thing. It's very creepy the whole time.
Yeah, I love the original Halloween score, and particularly with the release of these newer films, 2018 and Kills and Ends. I've had those films, the soundtracks, on repeat in my brain for the past couple of years. So I love John Carpenter. I love what he can do with music, and I love the Halloween theme. I pretty much never get tired of hearing it, except now that is my kid's favorite song. I shit you not.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
He will put it on repeat.
Johnny's kid.
He will put it on repeat. I'll be like working out. I'll have my computer out here playing my music. He'll have my phone being on YouTube, and then all of a sudden I'll hear my computer switch to the Halloween theme as I'm working out, and it'll play for a couple of seconds, and it'll start all over again. It'll play for a couple of seconds, and it'll start all over again, and I'll have to be like, Kalen, go back to YouTube, because I know he's over there playing DJ and he just wants to hear Halloween. We'll be in the car and be like, Dad, Ween. I'm like, what? Halloween. Okay, play it. It'll end and be like, Ween again. Ween again, Dad. So, I love that theme. But I've heard it so many different times and so many different ways that this film that is so, it's like a sister score, you know, it is in the same universe. It is so complimentary of what is just an amazingly iconic score. I have alarms that I set in the morning during Halloween time. I set it to different Halloween music, and one of the alarms that I have to wake up in the morning is Chariot of Pumpkins, which is the main theme in this, when the guy's running in the very beginning. And I swear every time I hear it in the morning, if it's like super early in the morning, I gotta wake up and work out or whatever, it creeps me the fuck out. Like, I hear it, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, never once does it creep me out when I've like listened to it during the day, but I'll wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and be like, fuck, gotta turn that off. It creeps me out. So I think it is an amazingly effective score, and like we've talked about, it is just foreboding and terrifying. So I can't speak highly enough of it. My God, this is
that's a lot
to talk about. So I guess I'll do it.
Which one is it?
Reception.
Ooh. It's gonna be a good one, though.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Don't be afraid.
Got to find out what Roger Ebert said.
Yeah. I'm curious.
All right. Halloween 3: Season of the Witch received generally, get this, boys and girls, negative reviews. The New York Times reviewer Vincent Canby. Fuck him. I hate him already. Struggled to apply a definite label to the film's content. He remarks, Halloween 3 manages the not easy feat of being anti-children, anti-capitalism, anti-television, and anti-Irish all at the same time.
Oh, cry me a fucking river.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
What a pussy.
That's what I'm saying.
This movie's anti-children and anti-Irish.
On the other hand, he says that the film is probably as good as any cheerful ghoul could ask for. Other critics were far more decisive in their assessments. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote, the film was a low-rent thriller from the first frame go. Fuck yourself, Roger Ebert. This is one of those. Does anybody else know
It looks like it says
identikit movies assembled out of familiar parts from other better movies? Sure. However, he did praise Stacey Nelkin's performance. We talked about that earlier, I believe. Cinefantastic. God, get a better name. Magazine called the film a hopelessly jumbled mess. Jason Paul Cullum points to the absence of Michael Myers in the film's nihilistic ending as reasons why the film dissatisfied viewers and audiences alike. Cool, you can go fuck yourselves. Jim Harper called Wallace's plot deeply flawed. Go fuck yourself. Harper argues any plot dependent on stealing a chunk of Stonehenge and shipping it secretly across the Atlantic is shaky from the start.
Touche.
Fair enough.
You can stay.
God damn it. There are 4 time zones across the United States, so the Western Seaboard has 4 hours to get a fatal curse-inducing advertisement off the air. Not a great plan. Harper was not the only critic unimpressed with the plot. Roger Ebert wrote, "What's Cochrane's plan? Kill the kids and replace them with robots? Why?" Roger, if you've ever had children, which I'm assuming you didn't, knowing everything I know about you, you'd understand.
Okay.
Hashtag, I love my kid.
Jesus Christ. Somebody check on Killian.
He's fine. Everything's fine.
I don't know. You said he's sick. You were very specific about not being your fault. And now I'm a little concerned.
You sent him to bed pretty quick. You didn't say
Go on, shoot, go. You guys saw him sleeping in there when we took our break. He's fine.
When was the last time you heard him say anything?
Can you send me a picture of Killian holding a newspaper tomorrow?
Nobody reads the news anymore. Tom Milne Out of Time offered a more positive review, calling the title a bit of a cheat since the indestructible cycle of the first 2 films plays no part here. Unlike other critics, Milne thought the new plot was refreshing, with the possibilities of the characters of the previous Halloween films felt well and truly exhausted. Not wrong, buddy. Just give it another 40 years and see how you feel after that, man. Season of the Witch turns more profitability to a marvelously ingenious Nigel Neal tale of a toy maker and his fiendish plan to restore Halloween to its witch cult origins. That's a great, plot summary right there.
Yeah.
Although Milne was unhappy that Neal's script was reduced to a bit of a mess, he still believed that the end result was hugely enjoyable. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds a 45% approval rating. Will one of you guys hop on Rotten Tomatoes right now and see if that is still the current rating for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? And an average of 5 out of 10 based on 31 reviews. Only 31, wow. The site's consensus reads, it's laudable deviation from series formula notwithstanding, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch offers paltry thrills and dubious plotting.
What did they call that? What was the percentage on there?
45%.
Oh, 48.
Hey, we've moved up 3%.
Audience score is 28.
Wild.
Wow.
That surprises me.
Wow.
I would expect that to be significantly higher than the critical score.
Yeah, particularly in this day and age, I would say that the film is...
The picture they used
of
all the screen.
Show it to the camera.
It's a good one.
See if you guys can even see that.
Yeah, I have faith in you.
Somebody who I don't care to read their name wrote, the film features no serial killers or slashes of any kind. Still, this could have been somewhat interesting, or at least not commendable, had the film been any good. It is not. Almost every time it starts to get to the point where we might actually become engrossed in the film, director Tommy Lee Wallace throws something corny like, oh, a human decapitation scene that shows just how much the producers invested in latex. Seriously. Could the special effects look any more fake, please? Person whose name I will not mention because you are not worth my time. Go fuck yourself! I'm not even going to read the rest of your sentence because actually, you know what? You say something about Michael Jackson here, so that might be worth reading. I was just about to get to the point where I could almost tell the robots from the real people making a real person look faker than Michael Jackson's nose blissfully confuses me all over again. Alright.
Okay.
Academics find the film full of critiques of late 20th century American society. God, what the fuck? Academics find the film full of critiques of late 20th century American society. Historian Nicholas Rogers points to an anti-corporate message where an otherwise successful businessman turns oddly irrational and seeks to promote robotic future for commerce and manufacture, which goes back to what you were saying. Mm-hmm. Yes! Big money is bad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. People who are rich do not give a fuck about people who are poor or people who are lesser than them. They just do fucking not. There is no way around it.
Is this when you brought up Jeff Bezos?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what
there was a clear commentary on that where it's like, hey, these like incredibly wealthy people, they don't actually give a fuck about you. And like I feel like that's like, you know, I feel like that's something that like adults should know that. Like
that is 100% true.
Like if you're grown up and you can read, you should know that that's true.
Absolutely. I don't understand what this person is trying to argue where it says this is oddly irrational. I'm sorry. Rich people, when they're rich, there's a dissociative disorder. They are not in touch with the rest of the world. They do not give a fuck about anybody but themselves. I guarantee it. End of story.
Oddly irrational.
Oddly irrational. He's like, hup, hup, hup.
Yeah.
Cochrane's astrological obsessions or psychotic hatred of children overrode his business sense.
Okie dokie, already.
Cool. Totally. Who is this guy? Fuck you. Tony Williams argues that the film's plot signified a result of the victory of the patriarchal corporate control. Yep. In a similar vein, Martin Harris writes that Halloween 3 contains an ongoing cynical commentary on American consumer culture. Who are these assholes? Yes, absolutely. It's not good. Huh? Fuck me.
What is their argument? That this guy's just trying to make a living?
No, their argument is that they're saying they're like, oh, like, this film is clearly saying that, like, corporate, like, money mongering is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's fucked up. In a similar vein, Martin Harrison writes that the film contains an ongoing cynical commentary on American consumer culture, upset over the commercialization of the Halloween holiday. Cochrane uses the very medium he abhors as a weapon against itself. Harris also discusses other big business critiques in the film, including unemployment of local workers and declining quality of mass-produced products.
That's really interesting because in 1982, if you had told them what mass-produced products would look like in 2022, right, they wouldn't even fucking believe you. They'd be like, what?
Yes. Again, all of this is like people that just have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Because this is in the middle of the big 80s boom when consumer culture was...
hit its height. Yeah,
yes.
the decade of decadence, right? Like,
yes, and everyone had their heads up their asses about that shit, and so it is crazy to me that people are critics of all people who are supposed to be the smart guys are talking shit about a movie.
I think this section you're reading though is academics who are pointing out the themes in the movie. I don't think they're criticizing in this paragraph. I don't think they're criticizing the movie here. Like I think all of this was. But here it's academics find the film full of critiques, and they're going on about how these historians feel about the movie. So I think this wasn't actually criticism.
I mean, okay.
I think this was just like them explaining the themes of the movie and the subtext.
I mean, if that's the case, good.
But these guys,
it doesn't exactly read like that entirely to me, because when it says like turns oddly irrational and like seeks...
oh no, you're right there. Yeah, that's true.
Like just the way that they kind of like write about it.
But I don't think. But like, see, that's one guy, and then we're moving on to another guy here. So I don't think these guys were trying to diss the movie. You're right here when he says oddly irrational. That's the point. Yeah. But from here down, I think this is just
an ongoing cynical commentary on
American consumer culture.
Yeah, see, I can't tell if they're talking about like the way the filmmakers portrayed stuff or if the way that like. But either way, this film is
a very clear message.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I do too. It's fun.
Anyways, I'm gonna hand it over to my bro games. You guys can finish off everything. I'll take over Legacy. You guys split up the rest, all right?
So where are we at? Box office?
We're at box office.
There it is.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch opens in 1,297 theaters in the United States on October 22nd, 1982, earning $6,333,259. In its opening weekend, like its predecessor, the film was distributed through Universal by Italian producer
Dino De Laurentiis.
It grossed a total of $14,400,000 in the United States, but was the worst performing Halloween film at the time. Several other horror films that premiered in 1982 performed far better, including Poltergeist, fucking duh, Friday the 13th Part 3, and Creepshow. It also lists the box offices for those movies. Creepshow is at $21 million and change, Friday the 13th Part 3 at $34 million and change, and Poltergeist at a staggering $76 million and change.
I can tell you exactly why that is. It's got one big name attached to it in particular. Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, that is one of my personal favorite horror movies and movies, period. Artwork. Yeah. Artwork. In 1983, Ed Riviera, designer of the film's theatrical poster, received a Saturn Award nomination from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films USA for Best Poster Art, but lost to John Alvin's E.T. the Extraterrestrial artwork. They were just getting their lunch eaten.
Fucking Spielberg!
Riviera's poster art featured a demonic face descending on 3 trick-or-treaters. His artwork was later featured on the cover of Fangoria in October 1982. The stylized face on the theatrical poster is actually a distorted image of the witch mask which appears in the film. The image of the trick-or-treaters is similar to a shot in the movie that shows children in Phoenix, Arizona walking in a silhouette with a red sunset in the background.
Quick little discussion on that. Either of you, going into this film, just supremely disappointed that the witch mask that is on the poster of this film, featured prominently, does not play a part in this film whatsoever.
Yeah, it was really
because when I watched it, I was like, okay, witch mask. All right, witch face. It's gonna show up. Because that thing's fucking creepy looking. It's fucking creepy. Yeah. It's gonna play a part. Never to be seen.
Somehow, right?
Never to be seen.
Yeah, because first I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna when he sneaks in, when Charles sneaks in and he accuses the fucking old lady knitting robot
Where is she?
and pulls its head off and shit.
Where were the other drugs going? Swear to me.
That's right. I was like, oh, because then Cochran he comes out with the head. I felt like that was gonna be like maybe they'll swing on it. I'm like, oh, maybe that's like one of the witches or some shit. And then I thought when he, gets vaporized by Stonehenge, I'm like, oh, maybe that
is almost
debut.
As close as it gets. His weird, fucking face is about as close to what that witch mask kind of looks like on the poster. Yeah, but he's just there,
and it's just like, poof, just disappears.
And then he evaporates. God, don't give me... I don't want to get started like this. That's a big question mark of this movie.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a fair question, but I think I forgot very quickly about the poster once the movie started rolling. Like when the movie started rolling, I was like, "Oh, this is different than what the poster would, cause you to expect." Then, once the faces started getting pulled off, I was just like, "All right, well, whatever this is, I'm in." So
hey, that's a testament to the movie.
Yeah,
true that.
There you go, Brian.
What do we got here? Oh, merchandising.
Merchandise.
Okay. As part of a merchandising campaign, the producers requested Don Post to mass-produce the Skull Witch and Jack-o'-lantern masks. Producers had given exclusive merchandising rights to Post as part of his contract for working on the film, and Post Studios had already successfully marketed tie-in masks for the classic Universal Monsters, Planet of the Apes, Star Wars, and E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Post used the original molds for the masks in the film to mass-produce masks for retail sale. He speculated, because the masks are so significant to the movie, they could become a cult item, with fans wanting to wear them when they go to see the movie. Post also gave mask-making demonstrations for a Universal Studio tour in Hollywood. The masks retailed for $25 when they finally appeared in stores in October 2019. NECA announced that they would be releasing 3 8-inch action figures of the Pumpkin, Witch, and Skull, which were released in March 2020.
Folks, NECA is actually NECA. Welcome.
what a stupid fucking name. NECA
announced. Yeah, okay, whatever.
I got toys from them sitting on my fridge, that's all.
Oh.
Are they cool? Cool toys?
Cool, they're very cool toys.
Yeah, they are pretty rad.
They're being covered up.
Packaging's really nice, though.
Jaws toys.
Home media. Halloween 3 was later released on VHS, capacitance electronic disc, and laser disc in 1983 by MCA Universal Home Video, and by Good Times Home Video in 1996. DVD versions were distributed by Good Times in 98, Universal in 2002, and as a 2-disc Universal double feature with Halloween 2 in 2007. The film was released on Blu-ray for the first time September 18th, 2012 from Shout Factory, containing the same special features as their collector's edition DVD, which are a commentary, documentary, trailers, and still galleries. Universal released a Blu-ray release of the film August 11th, 2015. An Ultra HD Blu-ray release was released under Shout's Scream Factory label October 5th, 2021.
Dope.
How many of those do you have?
I just have the one that was released in, I do believe it is the 2012 version that I got in the Shout Factory box set. That has all the Halloween movies up until Rob Zombie's.
So the original 2 series.
So it includes up until Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and it is one of my favorite pieces that I own because the Halloween franchise is my favorite horror franchise. So
you didn't get the Ultra HD Blu-ray?
I didn't, because it's one of those things where, as much as I would love to have it, you kind of gotta pick your battles.
Absolutely.
With the money that
when
you're
it comes
spending.
to collecting,
and you gotta go, all right, is this worth it, or should I wait another couple of years for them to release a super duper duper even better version, and then maybe the wife won't be as mad when you're wasting money on shit you already have.
What did it look like when it came out in 1983 and now compared to Ultra HD Blu-ray. Does it look that much more different? Like,
I'm sure if you were to get your hands on a VHS copy,
Betamax.
Oh well, yeah.
Well, that's what it would have looked like when it first came out on home video. It would have been on a VHS or a Betamax, and it would have looked very different.
The picture that we get, even in the one that we were watching tonight, which is the Blu-ray from 2012.
Yeah.
Fucking astounding. So I can only imagine what the 4K looks like. I don't have I have a 4K player upstairs. I don't have a 4K player down here, but like I'm sure it looks fucking pristine.
I don't buy the 4Ks right now because like I don't even know how much longer they're gonna keep selling physical media, and my Blu-rays look fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I don't, and like you said, you only have so much money to rebuy movies that you own.
Yes.
And I've already done that with a lot of my collection once.
Yeah.
Because I owned a bunch of DVDs, you know.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I feel you, brother.
Yeah. Brian, why don't you read the, is it novelization and then legacy after that?
Yeah.
Finish up with the novelization.
The script was adapted as a paperback novelization in 1982 by horror writer Dennis Etchison, who also wrote the novelization of Halloween 2, writing under the pseudonym Jack Martin. The book was reissued in 1984. Although Cochran appears to die in the film, the novelization implies that he may have survived with the magic of Stonehenge transporting him away. While the film leaves open the question of whether Chalice was able to get the Third Network to pull the deadly Silver Shamrock ad, the book conclusively states that he failed as the children die screaming. Love it. That's so gnarly.
I was able to acquire this novelization for a reasonable price. I think I got it for in the 20s, which is insane because the novelization of this book typically goes for over 100 at the very least. So yeah. I was able to get from a good purchase, and it is in pristine condition. So
nice. What'd you pay for it?
God, I think at the end of the day, like maybe after shipping and everything, maybe like $30.
That sounds good. All
right. Legacy. In 2011, film Livid, a trio of trick-or-treaters wearing the three masks designed in Halloween 3 walk past a car in which one passenger sings the Silver Shamrock jingle in 2014, and this is, at this stage in the game, this is like early on, like when I saw Halloween 3 for the first time when I bought this box set, or when Celeste, I should say, my wife gifted me this box set. It was my birthday present. I asked her for it in 2012. Watched this and was not nearly as in love with it as I am now, but I remember watching it and just being like, wow. And so a couple of years later, in 2014, a film that I cannot recommend enough, The Guest, they do just a beautiful reference to Halloween 3 in it, and I was like,
The Guest fucking slaps.
Yes.
Underrated.
The Guest is a modern day Terminator.
For sure.
That takes place during Halloween. What more could you want? In 2014, the American film The Guest, the final battle takes place inside of a high school decorated for Halloween with the decorations based on the mask from Halloween 3 hanging up on the wall. In the 2018 Halloween film, a trio of trick-or-treaters are briefly shown wearing three masks from Halloween 3. The masks reappear in Halloween Kills, this time with attached silver shamrock medallions visible on the rear of the mask. The German speed metal group Halloween, which used the Halloween theme imagery, adapted Silver Shamrock ditty from the film, using it E.G. as an introduction in their 1985 debut full-length studio album, Walls of Jericho. So this film has slowly but surely made its way into pop culture, people who are fans of this film have been sneaking it into their movies, which is like, I don't know, like the sexiest fucking thing you can do
awesome.
to me. All of that said, I think it's time to wrap this shit up. Let's go to our final scores of this movie. Brian, why don't you take it away? Give me your final thoughts on this movie, and then give me your ranking out of 10.
Final thoughts. I loved it. It's great. Just like fun, ridiculous 80s horror, especially the storyline, especially the effects. It's just super entertaining the entire time. I mean, even towards the tail end, I was like, I still didn't really know what was going down. I was like, I don't know which direction this is going to go because we've already tried like 4. So I'm kind of just along for the ride at this point. But I loved it. I think it's awesome. I think it deserves to be a little cult classic. Fuck what all the critics said about it. 7.5.
Hell yeah.
Right on, man. I like it. Weird is one of my things. Science fiction and horror are my jam. I liked a lot of things about this movie. There were definitely moments in this movie where I got very excited about the movie I was watching. There were moments that really got me. And I think it's original, it's creative, it's entertaining, it's moody and atmospheric in a good way rather than like a kind of using that in place of storytelling kind of way. Mm-hmm. It sounds great. It yeah, man, it's a cool movie. It's something that I was telling my girlfriend, like, I'm glad that I watched this like under the the circumstances that we did, with like a recommendation from a friend, knowing Michael Myers isn't in it, and giving it a chance to just be like this quirky 1982 weird horror movie, because allowing it that really gave it space to be its own thing and really allowed me to enjoy it. I do think if I'd walked into a movie theater in 1982 expecting a Michael Myers movie, I would have been walking out going, what the fuck? As I did with a movie recently.
Damn!
You know?
Damn!
So I do think the context of having an idea of what it was, a loose idea, I didn't know exactly what it was. I just knew he wasn't in it, and it was a different thing. But I do think that helped the movie a lot. I'd probably give it like a 7. My overall score is probably a 7. I do think there's plenty of weaknesses. I think that I would have loved to have gotten my hands on the script to clean it up and tighten it up in little spots. But that said, like, entertaining, creative, fun, scary, interesting movie. And you could tell that genuine love and was put into it. Genuine craft from people who knew how to make movies was put into it. And yeah, definitely enjoyable flick. 7 out of 10.
Now, like, both of what you guys just said, 100%. I'll go a step further. I watch, like, my favorite thing to do nowadays is seek out trashy fucking 80s horror movies. The worst of the worst, and just be entertained by how bad they are, but also, like, what we do, like, what Brian and I do. Like, we go and make movies with no money, and to see these people make movies with no money, and to kind of build off of that, and what it is, like, to me, it is a Spielbergian version of a trashy 80s horror movie. Like, it is as good as a trashy 80s horror movie can possibly get.
I love that.
There are so many things that are just like, there are so many threads that go nowhere, that are unexplained.
Yep.
There's over-the-top gore for no reason other than because we can, because it's the 80s and this is the beautiful time of practical effects, and fuck it, let's go for it. there is an aesthetic to this film that I will never, ever, ever get tired of. I fucking love the masks. The masks are so fucking sexy to me. Every time I see those 3 masks, I mean, yes, it takes 3 masks to outdo the one mask that is Michael Myers. I will admit, but god damn it, if they aren't fucking beautiful to look at. I love everything. Everything the actors put on the screen. Chalice, Ellie, Cochran, even Buddy and his family. Like I just enjoy it thoroughly.
It was great.
Yeah, man, I really cannot speak highly enough about this movie. And to your point about going into a movie without Michael Myers and knowing it beforehand, which I knew going into this one, and I was like, all right, cool, this is going to be there. I remember reading about this. I remember reading about this in high school, like going in a deep dive, like going on a web page and reading about Michael Myers stuff and being scared. Just scaring myself, reading about Michael Myers stuff on the internet in broad daylight, on my computer in my mom's house when I was like fucking 15 or 16 years old. And I remember getting to Season of the Witch and being fucking flabbergasted and angry at the idea that they would make a movie without Michael Myers in it. And then watching it many, many years later and being so just surprised by the ingenuity and the originality of it all.
Oh, yeah.
And then 10 fucking years later, sitting on my couch, not but a fucking week and a half ago, watching another movie, not knowing, having an idea that there might be less Michael Myers in it. And then just sitting there and watching that film unfold and going, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. This, they're doing it. This franchise needs more of that ingenuity.
Yeah.
Anytime any of the filmmakers decide that they're gonna fucking throw their balls to the wall and do something off the beaten path, I'm here for it. I fucking love this movie. It is, on any given day, it is my favorite of the franchise, and I rate it 100%, 10 out of 10. Oh! Even for all its flaws. The only thing that I would outright change, like I said, is I would put it in the Halloween universe. I would put Michael Myers as a part of that universe. That is the only thing I would change. Everything else, even with all its obscurities and its randomness, I wouldn't touch. I fucking love it. Yeah. These motherfuckers with their helicopter just flying out. Every time I think about it, I'm like, it's just, they just have a helicopter and they're just flying across.
It says you wouldn't believe how we got to get this thing here.
Exactly.
Sweet.
So, 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. Where are we at? We're at roughly like an 8 out of 10. Give or take?
We're averaging,
sure, yeah.
Somewhere there, yeah.
We'll average an 8 out of 10 for the Jony Horror Podcast. Yeah. So, Halloween ends, huh?
Yeah.
What did you, just a brief summary of your thoughts.
So it's a little bit tough. Like, that's a movie that I'm gonna need to...
You need to sit
I need to sit with it for a year. I need to watch it next Halloween. I think that placing it where they placed it was a mistake, flat out.
Yep.
Like, I think putting it as the third movie in a trilogy...
Should have been 2.
It should have been 2. And absolutely it should have been 2. And, like, it should, like, and, like, 2 shouldn't have sucked as much, but also 2 shouldn't have felt like... 2 felt like, you know when you play T-ball, you set the ball on the tee and then you knock the ball off the tee? Halloween Kills felt like a tee.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like you were just setting up for a third movie, and then that movie's a movie where it never comes.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm like, okay, so I watched this Halloween 2018 movie, and I think that movie's fucking great. I think that's a fantastic movie. I watched it again recently. I think that's the one that unambiguously shows you the talent of that filmmaker. And then Halloween Kills comes out, and it's just, like, random and fucking stupid, and, like, the more he kills, the more he ascends, and it's like, okay, well, this isn't really related to what was happening in the movie before it, it's not really making a lot of sense, whatever, and the whole thing feels like it's just queuing up the last movie. So I'm going in this movie like, okay, well, I sat through that boring, stupid piece of shit so that I could get to this movie.
It's a you know what I mean? Kills feels like a bridge movie.
It does. It feels like a bridge movie. And then I get to this movie, and it's a bridge to a different world.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't want to throw up too many spoilers for it, I don't think, but, like, the place that Laurie is in her life to begin the movie makes no fucking sense. It's total fucking nonsense. And, like, the place where Michael Myers is at in his life doesn't actually make sense either.
I've listened to, and I've thought about this, and I've listened to some other people talk about this. If anything, the way that this movie picks up should be the way that 2018 should be the start of 2018.
Exactly.
Like,
this would have been a great Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
I say this as someone who loves Halloween 2018, but this would have been a great Halloween 2018. And so all of that stuff I just said that was kind of negative and critical of the movie, I can't tell you how many times I thought to myself while watching the movie, like, well, this is pretty good. This is good. I like that. That person's not a bad actor. That person's not a bad actor. This is pretty well written. This seems pretty interesting. This seems pretty effective. I had a lot of thoughts like that.
Yeah.
While also being like, what the fuck am I watching and why?
See, I will say two things about this, and then we can move on. I think the writing and the acting is leagues above what the first two films were. It feels like we're watching real people, where like some of the scenes in the other two films, I was like, people don't talk like this. This is not the way people talk. And Halloween Ends, I think, is a fucking masterpiece if it is not beholden to the two films that came before it.
Taken out of
which
context.
It is totally. So that is a big detriment to it. But that's a cross to bear for another day.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this was a fuck ton of fun. I am so flattered, so honored to have a couple of my very, very best friends on a podcast to talk about one of my all-time favorite movies. I cannot thank you enough for both sticking it out with me, watching this movie, A, on your own time, B, on our time, and taking the time to consider your thoughts and really, for lack of a better phrase, dive on in. To this fucking bullshit. So, guys, this has been a real fucking pleasure, a goddamn Halloween treat. And if any of you have made it all the way through this podcast, God bless you. We had a hell of a time recording it. If I can speak for all of us, I had fun. I hope you guys did too. This has been a great conversation, gentlemen. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I am your host, Jony Horror, with me, Kalen Behrman, and Brian Calvert. This is Jony Horror Podcast, and we will see you motherfuckers on the flip side. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
And, stay safe. It's a crazy world out there.
A lot of robots.
A lot of robots.
Don't eat any poison candy that poor people gave you. It's
Right.
filled with expensive designer drugs.
I've saved for years to be able to poison these children.
with this high-end cannabis that's only going to mildly irritate them for one evening.